This is the Influencer Entrepreneurs Podcast with Jenny Melrose, where I strategize with business owners on how to grow and scale their businesses to hit their income goals. This is episode 418 of the Influencer Entrepreneurs Podcast with Jenny Melrose. Today we're going to talk about how to market yourself. I'm giving you 11 tips to make you stand out on a crowded digital space. This is meant for you, whether you are looking at yourself as a food blogger, or whether you are looking at yourself as a therapist that is trying to develop courses or a membership for your people. If you are trying to grow your online presence of being able to be found by new clients, your target audience, then this episode is going to be meant for you. Now, before we jump into this, I want to make sure that if you haven't already grabbed our strategic growth plan, that you do so. It is linked right in your podcasting app as well as within this blog post. So if you haven't already downloaded that, make sure that you do. It is going to help you really be able to define who you are serving, and how you're going to be able to stand out with a specific plan in mind. Now, let's really jump into how we're going to be able to market ourselves. We're going to discover 11 essential tips on how to market yourself and build a strong personal brand that will stand out in this crowded digital space. Now, the important part that you have heard me talking about in the last couple episodes is the importance of making sure that you have a personal brand strategy. No longer are the days where we can hide behind a logo and expect that people are just going to buy our thing because they want to buy the thing. You have to find a way that you can connect with them personally. And with a personal brand strategy that we have talked about, you can develop this in order for them to know exactly who you are and why they should choose you over someone else. The personal brand strategy is important because it's going to provide an opportunity for your audience to see you as that expert. We're going to talk a little bit more about this. And I know that thinking of yourself as an expert can often make women especially feel uncomfortable. But you have to start being able to see yourself as that expert, that educator, that advocate for your audience that they are coming to rely on so that you can stand out. So let's dive into the specific tips that are going to help you stand out. The first is to absolutely know the problem that you solve. You have to be solving a specific problem for your audience. Now, for some of you, this may feel like I'm putting out content, or I've been a blogger and I've just been randomly putting out the most random content that doesn't really answer a specific problem. It's a recipe. It's a DIY. It's not the life-changing sort of problems that we might be thinking of that we need to be in order to be an expert or educator. So in this case, what I would challenge you to do is figure out what you do differently when you create your recipe, when you create your DIY. What do people come to you specifically for because they know that you're really good at this? Are you really good at making it step by step? Are you good at keeping it inexpensive for families that are on a budget? Are you good at making sure that you can make one meal and have 4 variations because of picky eaters? If you are a therapist, again, you're going to know the problem. This is going to be much easier for those of you that do service-based businesses because you are already doing this. If you are an author and you write children's books, what are the purpose of those children's books? Why are you creating them? And how are you solving a problem with them? You're teaching them life lessons. You're teaching them different ways to improve their reading and connect with a story and be able to improve their comprehension. All of these things are ways in which you are solving a problem, and you have to be able to step into this. Now, The second tip is to understand who you are solving the problem for. You do not want to solve a problem for everyone under the sun. We've talked about this quite a bit when we were talking about personal brand strategy. The idea that you cannot have a red ocean and try to serve every single person out there, because people are not going to see themselves in the pain points that you are talking about because you're trying to speak to everyone. When you try to speak to everyone, you are going to attract no one. But when you speak to a specific audience that is going to really struggle with your problem, they're going to connect with that. And yes, you may have people on the outskirts looking in that don't see themselves in that, but they're going to be outliers that are still going to want your information, and you need to be good with that. So really understand specifically, who are you solving the problem for? You can't simply tell me women between the ages of 40 and 50 that are looking to make dinner. That doesn't solve the problem, okay? That's not an audience. That's not specific enough. You have to really narrow it, niche down. The next step is to build a strong online presence. Now, when we are doing this, I recommend that you have your own website where you are creating content so that it is yours and yours alone. You own it. It cannot be owned by social media. I also would recommend create a social media accounts on the platforms that your audience are on, and choose one of those platforms to market the content that you are already creating on your website. I don't want you to reinvent the wheel. I want you to repurpose your content. So figure out a way that you're going to put out content, whether that's going to be written, whether it's going to be podcast, whether it's going to be a video. And then I want you to repurpose that into a blog post. And then from the blog post, I want you to put it out on social media. And we've talked about this before when we're talking about the frameworks of our content, how to make sure that we are putting out content for social media that's going to work well with the content that we're already creating for our websites. Now, I also want you to make sure that you are growing your email list, because having an email list is going to be key to being able to continue to actually promote yourself and your business. So really start to think about, how can you provide something in exchange for their email list?
Hey there, guys. My name is Melanie from Mostly Under Control, and I am a member of Jenny's Influencer Entrepreneurs Insiders membership. I've been a part of it since 2017, and over these 6 years, I've taken full advantage of the weekly trainings that Jenny offers and the monthly group coaching. The group coaching is probably my favorite part of the membership. Jenny has taught me so many things for my business. She helped me niche down and write and teach about what I wanted so that I wouldn't burn out. In addition to what she teaches, the networking I've done with other members has been invaluable. I recommend her membership to all of my online business owner friends because it is worth every single penny.
The next tip is to authentically solve the problem through content creation. Now, it's really important that when you are creating your content, that you are thinking about, what is your audience searching for? You have to be doing some keyword research, understanding what words your audience is using in order to find the solutions that you are offering. If you are a therapist and you work with police officers and you have terminology for certain things that they may be struggling with, if they are not going to know those terms, you have to dumb down the language. So make it so it's something that they know to search for. Why do I feel like my husband ignores me when he gets home from work? Why do I feel like his head is always on a swivel? I really want you to start to think about, what are the terms they are using, not what are the clinical terms for what they have, because they most likely are coming to you because they don't know what they have. They just know their symptoms. They're not going to know their diagnosis. So make sure that when you are putting in your keywords and trying to understand what they are searching for, that you think about their symptoms that they're having. They are not going to know any clinical words. And this goes for any industry. If there are clinical terms that you are using, really start to think about, or industry specific terms, I should say, really start to think about, what are the symptoms that people are searching for that will help them find that industry specific word. Okay. The next tip is to make sure that you are educating or advocating. And this is where this piece of becoming an expert comes in. When you teach someone how to do something step by step and they get a solution, they see you as that expert. If you are advocating for them and they can tell that you are advocating from a place of having done the research and understanding the problem that they have, they're going to see you as that expert. So really start to step into that and understand people are coming to you for that problem because they see you as the one that has the solution. When you step into it as that educator or as that advocate, they are going to see you as that expert. Tip number 6 is to be consistent. It is so important then when you are putting out content that it is consistently within your personal brand strategy as well as consistently out there. You can't produce one piece of content once every 2 months and expect that people are going to be able to find you. You have to consistently create content. I would recommend you are putting out one piece of content at least once a week. And then as you build up content over time, you can market and promote the content from past. So years past, weeks past, you can put that back in front of your email audience. You can put it back in front of your social media audience. You want to make sure that you are starting though from a place where you are consistent. So again, if it's going to be video, if it's going to be audio, or if it's going to be written when you first start off, making sure that that is coming out at least once a week and then consistently marketing it to your other outlets as far as social media and your email list as well. Tip number 7 is to find your tribe. When you are building a business, it is difficult for those that do not own their own business to connect with you and understand the problems that you have. It's important that you find a tribe of women that are going to understand your problems, that are going to be able to help and give you solutions, as well as sometimes just give you an ear to listen to. You can't just rely on your family and immediate friends if they haven't grown a business themselves. So because of this, it's really important that you find your tribe to be able to provide you with accountability, to stay in the lane that you're trying to go in with growing your business, and also to give you that support that you may need. Now, many of you know that I have my Insiders program. So if you are looking for your tribe, the Insiders program is perfect for you. It is a low monthly cost. We give you weekly training as well as a group coaching, and we provide you with that accountability that you need. Then tip number 8 is going to be to network with others purposefully. This can happen in person as well as online. When you are part of a tribe of women, you are naturally networking with those that you are within that tribe. So if you're a member of my Insiders program, I always am recommending that you form collaborations with others that may have similar audiences to you. It is an excellent way to support each other. You also are going to want to network with others in real life. If there are events that you can attend to, whether it's a networking event, whether it is somewhere where you can find others, small business owners that are doing the work that you are likely doing as well. So really start to find those people. Tip number 9 is to speak publicly. Now, I know for some, you're like, oh, this is not happening. I am not doing that. Here's why this is so important. People have to get beyond just being able to read your words. They have to be able to connect with your voice and your face. They have to be able to put a name behind it. This is where the personal brand comes in huge. So if you can speak publicly, that could include a podcast, YouTube videos, in front at actually doing a talk or a workshop at a networking event, or even doing a free workshop or a paid workshop as part of your funnel in the way in which you are going to engage with your audience and continue to provide them with education. So it's really important that you provide an opportunity for your audience to connect with your voice and your face. It goes beyond and speeds up the process to the point of them going, not only have they decided that they like you, they absolutely know you, and now they're going to trust you because of your voice, because they're able to put a face with a name. Tip number 10 is to share the stage with others. And this goes back to being able to collaborate with others and network. If you are hosting an event, share the love. If you are working on a sponsored post, or you're working on something that is sponsored that they are looking for others, provide an email address to a colleague that might be a perfect fit. If you are in an industry where you could potentially be doing referrals for others because they're looking for someone that's maybe very niche specific, provide that referral. The more we can lift each other up and help each other by being that network for small business owners, it is going to be able to help all of us. By you keeping it in and not letting others know that there's some of your tribe members or some of your networking members have certain specific expertise, you're not allowing your people within your tribe to continue to grow. So really start to think about, how can I collaborate? How can I refer the people that I have created this relationship with? It's always going to come back to you. It's good karma when you do that. Tip number 11, and the final tip, is to invest in continuous learning. Now, the way in which you can do this can start off with investing just your time. So you're listening to a podcast and you're making sure that you are continually getting increased education, or you're reading books that are maybe business or within your niche education. You're going to maybe conferences, or maybe you're going to a retreat like mine that I am hosting in November in Houston. You are finding ways in which you can continuously learn. And again, sometimes you're going to be able to do this in person, and sometimes you're going to do it online. So if you are to a point where you are looking to invest and you're looking to have that tribe of women, my mastermind program is absolutely meant for you. With my small group masterminds, we bring together 6 women. We meet 3 times per month and have 2 hot seats per call, where we are specifically diving into the problems that you have within your business to be able to get questions answered so you can continue on your path and continue with your tasks and projects in order to increase your revenue, as well as it gives you the accountability to make sure that you are staying in line with your projected goals for those 6 months. If you are interested in getting more information, you can check out my mastermind program and fill out an application. We are continuously having programs running. We bring together 6 groups for an extended 6 months, and then we are able to bring in more groups as we go along. So if you haven't already been part of my mastermind program, please feel free to fill out the application. And if you have, I'd love it if in the comments you leave me your greatest takeaway from being part of the mastermind. As always, I appreciate you all so much for listening in, and I will see you all next time.